What's going on, Dragon Ballers? Welcome back to another deck profile. This time we're interviewing my friend and teammate Jamal, who got first place at Otakon. So Jamal, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm good, Joey. How are you, man?
Good, man. Congratulations. This is your first big W, right?
We'll call it my first singles W.
For singles, yeah.
Obviously, we won the team event celebrations in North Carolina, but yeah, this is like my first singles W.
Yeah, pulling that first single W, it's a little bit of a different feeling than like a team W, I feel like. But congratulations, man. We're gonna talk about the deck, and you've been playing Broly Head of Mastery forever. I know that you've been playing it since that celebrations event, and the deck has gone through a ton of changes. Like the team has been working on it a whole bunch. So maybe give us a little bit of insight on like how the deck has changed, because now you're at like a super aggro version. So talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. So around celebrations time in North Carolina when we played in the team event, I had a list a little bit similar to this, and I was talking to our team captain Marcus about it, and he liked the fact that, you know, the deck could just switch from being so focused on a height of mastery win con and switch more to an aggressive play style. So in the coming future, with, you know, the combination of the meta shifting and everything, him and our other teammate Jose had been working on this version of the deck, which is more of an aggressive version, but still has the height of mastery or victory strike win con condition. And the more I saw them work on it, the more I knew that, you know, since I was sticking with Broly, I just wanted to play something like this.
Yeah, I mean, the deck has such like a diverse pool of win conditions, which is really cool. Like victory strike and height of mastery, they're not going to win you every single matchup, especially with Mutaito and like battering and Killing Zone being gone. So I definitely like the more aggressive approach. So real quick, how did your deck get like affected by Mutaito all weekend? Because I know you said you only used height of mastery victory strike once, right, to win a game?
Yeah, I used victory strike maybe like once or twice. Same thing with height of mastery. I think I only used it about once. I didn't run into too much Mutaito, but it just seems like the way my matchups were, so many people seemed like they were playing around the height of mastery / victory strike package. So it was just easier to go more aggressive.
Got you. Yeah, and like I said, diverse win conditions makes that really easy. So we'll go through the deck here. So we've got 4 Bardock Awakened Instincts and then 2 Mira Creator Absorb. So at first glance, like that conflicts with Path of Greatness, but like then you realize it's more of an aggressive version. So how did you kind of realize when you need to go aggressive versus when you need to go height of mastery?
To be honest, I think it really depends on the matchup. So if you're playing against an opponent whose deck strategy is to just go as slow as possible, I generally like to go as aggressive as possible, because the problem with this deck is you're not always guaranteed to draw the victory strike.
Right.
So what ends up happening is you'll be putting your opponents in situations where if you pressure them hard enough and you still get a path to greatness setup, you don't even need a victory strike. You can either potentially just win the game with Mira outright, or just go into height of mastery by itself, and you've pressured them so much that it's easier to close out the game.
And so how did Mira feel with no battering laser? Because like obviously the OP combo used to be Mira, swing, battering the negate, Champa. That's like 2 guaranteed damage. So how did that feel? I've been thinking about maybe swapping it with Scientist Fu, but it's still like a huge swinger. So what do you think about that?
I definitely think Mira is still a problem card in my honest opinion, and it's not because of the battering, but it's more so the Broly leader himself, because the problem is if you're not going against a yellow deck, you know, they don't have a card like Mutaito or Time Magic. So basically, no matter what, you can always make sure, unless they have double negates, that Mira is generally getting through and poking with damage if you're not facing another yellow deck. So he was pretty much used all weekend just in spots where I needed to poke 1 damage through or potentially finish the game out with a double strike.
Yeah, they don't have the negate. It's still definitely guaranteed damage. So I can definitely see that. Then we have the 2 Double Strike Kai, 4 Successor, 3 Planet. So obviously Cold Bullets came down to 1, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But did you ever feel like you had too many 10Ks, too many extra cards, or was 3 Planet like really necessary?
So with the 3 Planet, because I know Marcus and Jose were messing with the ratios a little bit, because I kind of kept this list super tight. and didn't put too many tech cards in it. But 3-planet was pretty much perfect all weekend. It just helps set up like the power plays when you decide to go the aggressive route, because basically you'll get the turn when you want to flip over with your leader, where you'll have a couple of energy that you want to work with, and just using the planet to dig out the super combos from your deck just improve the consistency of the deck overall, to be honest.
Got you. And we have the 4-time magic. Did you ever feel like you needed Nimbus main deck, or was it fine in the sideboard?
No, I never felt like I needed it main deck. I felt like, to be honest, I only included Nimbus just for the niche matchups where I felt like my opponent would try to out-aggress me, because basically the way a lot of my games worked is I would flood the board with 15Ks and they would spend their turn trying to clear the 15Ks, not even worrying about my leader. So the Nimbus were just in the sideboard just in case I ran into another matchup where they were trying to be aggressive.
Gotcha. And then the 1 cold Bloodlust. So this is obviously one of the cards that got limited on the ban list. How did it feel only playing with 1? I mean, obviously the deck loses a ton of control options because of that. Did you feel like it was even necessary at that point, or was the 1 fine?
So funny enough, our teammates Marcus and Jose, when they were working on the list, they actually, before the ban list was even announced, only had 1 Bloodlust in this deck. And funny enough, it's like, I don't know if they predicted it to get banned, but this deck really doesn't need Bloodlust, again, because it just depends on how you're playing with it. To be honest, I know you could be afraid of certain generic strategies like Chain Zeno that might set you back. But, just for the certain matchups where Bloodlust was relevant, if you're just playing around what you expect, you should be fine for the most part. So 1 Bloodlust was okay the whole weekend.
Gotcha. So a little bit of matchup knowledge kind of fixes that Bloodlust problem. So we got the swap package with Grandpa, Dependable, Geen, all the typical stuff. How OP was Source of Power? Because I'm playing a similar build to this, like a very aggressive build, and Source of Power is usually the MVP where you need to go aggro. So how good was this card for you?
Yeah, Source of Power was literally the best card in the deck the whole weekend. It definitely complements the 3 planets because I can guarantee a turn 3 awakening no matter what matchup I'm in. But just the amount of pressure that Source of Power puts on your opponent on top of the 15Ks, it's just a ridiculous card.
Yeah, it's super good. And then the final card in the main deck I want to talk about, how did Mutaito do for you all weekend?
To be honest, Mutaito really didn't do anything until I got to Top Cut. In Top Cut, Mutaito shined a lot because I ended up playing against some of the more meta relevant decks. Like in Top 8, I played a Broly height Mira, but he was playing the Roshi Shin combo, and Mutaito basically won me a game. As well as I did play a Shenron Gogeta where Mutaito wasn't that good just because he played around it. But then again, in the finals, it also helped me because I played the U7 Victory Strike variant. So he did work towards the Top Cut.
Gotcha. So we'll go over to the sideboard real quick. So 3 Mercenary Tau. Did you face any hand control this weekend?
Actually, I did not, but I wanted to be prepared anyway because talking to my teammates, I found out that this deck actually has a bad matchup against Dende, even though I did play a similar variant in AC, and I played against 3 Dendes, and I actually beat 2 of them. But I just had it there, just to be safe.
Just to be prepared, right? And then we have 3 Crisis Crusher. What did you want this in against?
So this is for the skillless matchup, mainly. Because with the skillless matchup, I just have a tough time sometimes navigating that matchup. Sometimes I go aggressive and they have too many cards, especially if you can't get the 1-drop Goku off the board fast enough, and they'll just gain so much tempo by putting in, a 20K or a 30K, and they'll keep your board clear. So it's mainly there for the skillless matchup. Gotcha.
And I'm assuming same thing with the Mass Saiyan?
Yeah, definitely.
And then De-Banisher Fu, something for like the Green Broly matchup?
So the De-Banisher Fu is definitely for the Green Broly and the Baby Vegeta. Just want to get those get the grade 8 baby off the board as fast as possible. And then of course for the Green Broly, just to make them go up the chain, see if they'll waste cards and see if I can aggro them out before, they lock me out the game.
Yeah, them not having a reliable cold Bloodlust anymore is really insane when it comes to D-Banisher Fu. Like it's pretty much always gonna stick, which is pretty crazy. And then we have the Fu the Dark Banisher. So this looks like it's for the Janemba matchup, and I'm kind of surprised that there's no Trunks overseeing time here. So how did the Janemba matchup prove to be for you, and was Fu the Dark Banisher enough?
So I actually did not play. There were some Janemba there, but I did not play a single Janemba. But my thought process with the Fu over the power overseeing time is, in that matchup, I don't know if I'm ever gonna get to the victory strike, and I've played it before in the past. And if I actually just aggro them enough and they don't clear the board, and I follow up with the D-Banisher Fu with the board, generally I can just kill them with the Height of Mastery or just the 15Ks and the D-Banisher Fu. Never got to test that out, but in the past, I've generally beat Janemba just by hard aggroing them and then following up with a Height of Mastery. So I had the same thought process with the D-Banisher.
Gotcha, Jamal. So that's pretty much the whole deck list. Thank you for kind of giving us that in-depth analysis on it. So any like matchups you want to talk about? Any shout outs you want to give?
Yeah, definitely. So first of all, I want to shout out PBG for a great event. This was probably the most fun event I've ever played in, because out of my 6 rounds of Swiss and Top Cut, I actually didn't face a single deck twice. My round 1, I played against a Blue Gogeta. My round 2, I played against a Broly Maiden. Round 3, I played against my only loss, which was Red Skillless. And then in round 4, I actually played against the Green Hercule deck that was on stream, so that was pretty fun. And then my round 5, I played a Baby Vegeta. And then round 6, I ended up playing against Mono Black Demigra. And then in Top Cut, I played the Broly Height of Mastery Mirror. And then in Top 4, I played against Chiron Gogeta. And then, of course, in the finals, I played against U7 Victory Strike. So it was pretty much fun playing the entire day without having to play against, a bunch of meta-relevant decks, just playing against a bunch of different stuff. As for shout-outs, I definitely want to shout out my team, Chiron's Lair. You guys have made me so much better at this game. We're such a family. I love all of you guys. I definitely want to thank Marcus and Jose for the deck, because without them, this wouldn't have happened, because I had no idea what I was going to play at first, but they have like the best Broly list, and they have some of the greatest minds on this team. Is just ridiculous. And then, of course, shout out to you for featuring me on the channel.
Awesome, man. Thank you for being on so much. Congratulations again, and we'll see you guys next time.